Hello, folks. It's Sunday, the 27th of July. Another super gift from down under. Cheers. I have a couple things I want to talk about today in today's video because, again, I'm talking on the weekend and many times I don't. Cheers. Well, as I was talking about the my Ozzy tribute video, noting the numbers, I also checked my subscriber number. You folks notice, I hope you notice, that I never ask you to subscribe. I may have years ago, but I don't. The numbers are cool. That's not what drives me, but I just wanted to check here again. The Ozzy Osbourne tribute is up to almost 15,000 views. And that's cool. I mean, it's really what it is what it is a testimony to is the importance of Ozzy Osbourne to people. That my tribute is being viewed so much. I'm going to look and see here what is the actual um, number today. It's just the way things go that, yeah, almost 15,000 views on the Ozzy channel, on the Ozzy tribute. So probably as a result of that, pardon me, I should have shaved this morning. You folks who've been following me for years know that when I reach a 1,000 mark subscribers, I usually make a video and thank people. Well, the last one that I did was 33,000 in 2024, last year. I missed the turnover to 34,000. I have 34,302 subscribers as I speak. I got that much, and probably those extra hundreds that are added just now have a lot to do with the people who have discovered me from the Ozzy Osbourne tribute. Well, welcome aboard if you're watching. If you become a regular viewer, again, welcome into my home through the screen. Fair warning, this is not a Patreon, and I talk about whatever I want to talk about, including politics. Fair warning, I share my opinion freely about music, but I'm not dictating my taste to anyone. I'm sharing what I like and what's important to me. And also, fair warning: if we make a comment that doesn't sit well with me, I will delete it. And if you come over here being disrespectful, because I do have regular trolls who watch me all the time, people who are obsessed with me, I'll delete your comments and block you. And if you start a new account to continue to harass me, I'll just block that one too. So when I see people saying subscribe to my channel. It helps. It helps what? I don't. You subscribe here because you want to. Whether you subscribe or not, I'm gonna still be doing this. So I don't know how it helps. What helps me, and that's coming up this Friday, thankfully, is Bandcamp Friday. When they have Bandcamp Fridays, and artists who sell our music on Bandcamp receive the greatest benefit on sales on those. So that's coming up Friday, and I will be asking. These are my two latest releases from the archive, DHX. This is 2025 release, the latest, and from the archives. And I have several more CDs in my discography that are still in print that you can buy. Help me pay the cable bill and the electricity bill. Yesterday was one of my great nephew's birthdays, 29, passing of time. That's wild. So yesterday was a wonderful listening day, and I am really thankful because I cannot predict. Today is another. No, let me check. Turn the air conditioner off. For a second, it's so humid, and it's supposed to be a heat advisory today. Oh my goodness, I'm having another nice day. I can't predict it, except I know usually what I've noticed is I'll have a nice day, and then it comes screaming back, and then I'll have, like today, wow, a second day where I wake up and the ringing, or whatever you want to call that sound, is almost completely gone, and yet by the end of the evening today it may return, and if it doesn't, it will likely, I'll wake up with it in the morning. So once again, I had a very leisurely day yesterday, and just putzed around, sat around outside for a while yesterday until the heat got to me. I do like watching the cats, the feral cats in our neighborhood. I do like the fact that they don't run away from me now. They won't let me pet them. I haven't seen anyone be able to pet these cats. We probably won't be able to, but I like that they don't run away when I come outside the house. They got the message I'm not to be afraid of. So I didn't do any music work yesterday. It's been such a joy to listen to records. Some people have been making recommendations to me, but I'm poor. I have these records. This has been a labor of love, this wall of sound here. I don't have $90 to spend on a 45 RPM version of the Peter Gabriel records. I don't. I got multiple copies of most of them already, and I have attempted to buy the 45 RPMs because when I see them, it's like, ooh, I haven't seen one for less than $90. I don't have that to spare. Generally speaking, I don't. So I played some records yesterday, had fun with it, and here's what's sitting out. So with the new stylus, I wanted to explore again, make sure what I've been hearing is what I've been hearing from the band Boris, because I like Boris, but they have a very murky way of mixing their records. And this is one of the most recent Boris additions to my collection because I do kind of collect them. Seen Boris 2 or 3 times, met them. Second time I greeted them after the show. They remembered me, which I love. Of course, I stand out in the audience because of, I'm usually the only black person there. But Boris was inspired by the song Boris by Melvins, and you can hear it. They do the heavy sludge thing, but they also play with sound. So that one was just okay. This is more of the merch bowl that I really, really like. And it's the merch bowl with, the Boris. Excuse me, see, I'm just blah, blah. It's Boris with merch bowl that I like the most. And here is one that they put out a few years ago. It's numbers 21. Anyway, yeah, 2RO12P. Well, anyway, this is strange. The merch bow is considered a noise pioneer. Isn't that a beautiful color? And I love the pastiche of the Virgin Records label that they use. Heavy. But merch bow comes up with some really unique, funny, even crackly sounds. And they'll do something as simple as, I'm putting the air conditioner back on. It's like living in a swamp right now here in Nebraska because of the humidity. But he'll do things where it's as simple as it sounds like he's scraping a can, and then he'll take it and process it or something, and you're wondering, it sounds like clouds have become solid and are crackling. It just came to me as a way to try to describe some of the sounds on that particular album. It's awesome. So let me go here. So listening to things is a journey always, but having the new stylus, and I need to try to explain how I could have all these records and live with a dull stylus for so long, and it's hard to put into words, but it has to do with having been financially poor most of my life, and you just end up making do with things. Then you end up kind of getting neurotic about things, which I have been quietly inside neurotic about needing a new needle for a long time, and just almost feeling paralyzed mentally to do anything about it. And I know that this is not uncommon in people's lives, that we have issues and little things where it's like, it's just a little thing, simple thing, take care of it, and yet for many mental reasons we don't. Thought I would share that about how I've been living for so long, needing a new needle and wanting one, and not being able to just drive out to a store and buy it. Plus, like I said, there's no markings on the cartridge. It took me a while to visually match what it looks like and find out what it is. That also has a lot to do. Plus, the other thing is, my other turntable, I play it so seldom, that needle is in great shape, and I always hear the difference. But anyway, some old records, just because of the way they were recorded, they still sound kind of, they don't sound the way I wish they sounded. Here's one of them. David Bowie, Low. Now, they have reissued this time and time again. I went ahead and got the orange because it's my favorite color, and I love that Bowie pastiche RCA label. And this album is just if I could remix this, kind of like Black Sabbath and some other records, I would not do a Steven Wilson. Steven Wilson tries to stay true to the original intent. I would redo this. I would modernize this, but not in a crass way. I would really brighten this album up. The top end to me is all rounded off and dull. I still love this album though. I wanted to A/B this album because I have two different cuts of Earthling by David Bowie, and I really like this drum and bass. The drum and bass aspect of it does sound dated, it does, but I still like these songs. I like that cover too. Anyway, this is the double album version. Um, and I wanted to see if it would be more brilliant than the copy I had bought before, which is the music on vinyl, blue vinyl. I don't hear much difference between these two cuts, honestly. And the new needle is the perfect way to find out. I'm going to show this. This is a beautiful um, blue vinyl version. Not much of a difference at all. And the other one is spread across two LPs. So, as much as the cut can make a difference, it's the original engineering and mixing that you're ultimately dealing with. So that was fun. I played another Boris because when this came out, this one is real. It's on purpose that the mix is not muddy, but it's unclear. It's like a maelstrom, maelstrom, that if you're going to get this music, you have to jump in. It's like this big whirling thing going on, sound-wise, that they do. So they have a series of Heavy Rocks records, and this is a more recent one, 2022, and there's horns on this. So they try different stuff. And I thought to myself, that's the way they want us to hear it, because the horns are buried way inside of the overall sound of this album. Nice cover. Notice what I like this band. Have no idea what they're singing about. I don't think I really want to know. So talk about records where the pressing, the engineering, and everything just is brilliant and just a pleasant pleasure to listen to. Broadcast, The Future Crayon, 2001. Different recordings. This is a compilation. Okay, came out in 2006 on Warp Records. I generally speaking like Warp Records. And this is just an example of that modern engineering where it's just pristine. And I love their music. Interesting. Like the music has a retro future sort of feeling and sound. But the music is recorded brilliantly the way I like it. And this is a super cut, so this was a pleasure to listen to. You can just really hear it. I have this out for play, but I didn't get to it yesterday. Broadcast, and the Focus Group. I like this band. This is all. These are also out. Didn't get played. I'll just go ahead and show them. Bowie, Hours. I didn't get to these. I may not play these today. These were kind of part of my agenda yesterday. And then this I might not, but this is still on the agenda to play today. Boris, new album. I love that art. But here's another one where it's like they were diversifying with the sound. I'm gonna open this up. I don't remember the fold out. I love fold outs. Or, the gatefold. Let's see what the gatefold is. Yeah, see. I love that. It does seem to me, from memory, that they were able to match, in many ways, the look of this cover in their sound. So this is out for play still today. And this also Boris Heavy Rocks. There's a purple Heavy Rocks as well. Once again, it's my lovely color. I don't have to. It's another orange. Love the band Boris. Last time they came to Omaha, I didn't go. It's a band I really like, and I still didn't go. I'm not burnt out on concerts. I am older and hanging out in the bar and waiting around and standing around. That I'm over. I don't enjoy that. So, more. When this came out, I noticed Ryuichi Sakamoto 12, his last album released upon his death. I thought to myself that this seemed a little crackly. One of those clear vinyl records where you're wondering why. It can't be because it's clear that it's crackly, because I have some clear vinyl records that are absolutely stone quiet. But with the new needle, it really shows out I don't know if they're imperfections or what. I cleaned the records. But this one is a little crackly at the beginnings of the sides. And this is still a difficult listen because they explain it. Part of what we hear here is Sakamoto playing the piano as much as his health would allow him in his final days. And talks about here. And he tried choosing 12 of his favorite sketches from he began to record the little sketches of sounds as if a diary. And so there's some pieces on here where you can hear his breathing, and it's left on there on purpose. It's touching, but it's really sad. You can hear his labored breathing. You can also I can hear, because I love Sakamoto, how these are sketches, and there's one that starts like, it's just like plink, plink, and then it's like, as he plays, you can kind of hear that he gets some strength, and then it becomes this beautiful. The man was a genius. And then there's other things where it's just him playing with the sound. I love Sakamoto. An old Space-Time Continuum electronic 12-inch that nothing special, but it's one that I like so much when it came out that it became like I can hear it like a single in my head, as if I heard it on the radio. And these are some remixes of some of his tracks. Space-Time Continuum. Yesterday, I caught from being online that yesterday was the 51st anniversary of the release of this album, Rock Bottom by Robert Wyatt. And this is a melancholy beauty. This is a masterpiece. I played this, man, they got it right. Way back in 1973, whenever they recorded this album, it's just it's fantastic sounding, as well as the writing, performance, and the feeling. I love Robert Wyatt's voice. Rock Bottom. This is beyond prog rock. This is just fantastic music. I think, oh no. So I went ahead and put this on, Rolling Stones. And it was fun to listen to this. It took me back. I had forgotten when I was a little kid, my first favorite song by the Stones was "Get Off My Cloud." That was the first one they did where I thought, okay, this is pretty cool. Satisfaction was so, that riff was so strong and it was so new that it was, of course I liked it, but "Get Off My Cloud" was the first Rolling Stones 45 that I bought as a kid. And buying a 45 when I was a kid, Stephanie, if you see this, I don't know if you realized how much, but it was a big deal when I could afford that 75 cents for a brand new 45. It was rare. I couldn't do it every week, couldn't do it every month. So the purchase of "Get Off My Cloud," brand new by the Stones, of course I don't have it anymore, was a big deal. And listening to "Not Fade Away" brought it all the way back to the first time I heard that. And I still remember the first time I heard not the first time, but I remember hearing "Not Fade Away" on the radio as a kid and just thinking, this is wretched. And the reason is because by the time that came out in the early 60s, because of my family, I was already hearing great jazz and blues musicians in my house. And so their scratchy attempt at "Not Fade Away" was absolutely irritating to me. Even as a child, I said, what are these people doing? This is terrible. And it is. For my taste, if you're a Stones fan and you want to defend them, just save your breath. Because it's not going to change my experience. And it's not a diss, it's just me sharing my feelings and my thoughts. I'm going to end the video politically because I've been being quiet. And I will delete you if you trolls, if you come over here with your pro-Trump bullshit. I just want to say this about Epstein, because I've been talking about it. You folks that follow me know I've been calling pedophile Donald Trump out forever. I have direct experience with this sordid part of corrupt power. Some of you folks historically know about the Franklin sex scandal that happened here in Nebraska. It's directly related to Epstein because what was happening here were sex parties with street kids, poor kids, at this house way out in the woods where all the rooms were hooked up with cameras, so everything was recorded. It was a blackmail setup. I forget the name of the operation. Okay? But as a psychiatric technician working at the main psych hospital here in Omaha, I ended up working with several of the victims of that when it all come crashing down. I'm not going to give a lot of details, but that was the first time I heard some names that are now very prominent in politics from the kids themselves when when the Secret Service finally left and stopped doping these kids out of their minds so that they could actually sit up and wake up and eat and talk. When those kids started talking, it was hard to believe what they were telling, but it was true, and it's still happening. The Epstein thing was one of those operations. You hear how they said his house on his island was set up with cameras. He's recording everything. How did he get all that money? Power corrupts, and the thing that is most galling to me as a black man is how we had Barack Obama, who I was not all that into, but I knew that once he became president, we would have this huge racist backlash. But it also shows how the double standard for the rich and the powerful is so blatant and so wrong. You know, Trump is almost every other thing he does is illegal, and yet here we are stuck with him. I observe these things and they break my heart. So it's another reason why I'm so thankful to be able to get lost in music and the arts. Have a good Sunday.